Welcome to Just Ecology. Today I'm out in the incredible rainforests of South Gippsland and the Strzelecki Ranges in Victoria, and we're going to take a closer look at these very ancient and incredible ecosystems. Australia was once covered in rainforest. 30 million years ago, if you were to go from one side of the continent to the other, you'd find dense tropical rainforests covering much of that area. When the supercontinent that Australia was once part of began to break up, Australia drifted north and began to dry, which has continued over the last 30 million years. With the drying became more bushfires as well, and the rainforest generally hadn't evolved under these conditions, and so are quite sensitive to fire. So with the drying and the increase in bushfires, the rainforest generally began to contract to the more coastal areas where there was still high rainfall, and to protected places where the rainforest wouldn't be affected by fire. In Victoria, the rainforests are now very restricted to south of the Great Divide, generally within gully systems where there is complete protection from fire. This includes in the Otway Ranges to the west of Melbourne, and from just east of Melbourne to around the Yarra Ranges, extending all the way to the New South Wales border to East Gippsland. But across this area, the rainforests are very limited. They're only found in really kind of small patches in some of the more denser gullies. One of my favourite aspects of the rainforest are the incredible epiphytes you get. This is where epiphytes are plants which will grow generally on other plants. So you get lots of ferns which grow on the branches of trees, lots of little ferns that are creeping. They creep along the branches. They generally, there's a lot of moisture on these branches, but also in a very dense kind of vegetation where there's not much light in the lower part of the forest. There is a lot of advantages for plants to grow up in the canopy where they'll get lots of moisture, but also a little bit of sunlight. So sometimes you can get lots of species which are growing up to 30 metres right up in the air. And you get these beautiful branches just covered in mosses, lichens and different vascular plants. The smooth tree fern is a really important rainforest plant. It has a trunk with a kind of matted root system which is quite damp, and you get lots of ferns growing as epiphytes on the trunks, and even a lot of shrubs will kind of germinate on the trunks of the smooth tree fern. So it's quite an important plant for the germination of even larger plants. These areas of cool temperate rainforests in the Strzelecki Ranges are so important. They are home to really rare species, including the Strzelecki burrowing cray, a crayfish that burrows deep into the mud in these rainforest patches. There's a whole range of birds that love these gullies and are really reliant on having the shaded kind of rainforest gullies for their survival. And a range of plant species that are extremely rare, including the largest population of the slender tree fern, one of the few places we know of for the netted brake, and patches of the beautiful butterfly orchid and epiphytic orchid growing up in the branches of shrubs in only a few rainforest gullies in the Strzelecki's. But unfortunately, these patches remain with limited protection. Logging continues with a lot of huge areas of public land were given a 100-year lease to logging companies, and they continue to log these areas, often coming right up to the edges of rainforest patches. Not putting in adequate buffers to ensure their protection, and often even planting plantations of pine trees right up to the edge of the rainforest. So we really need to have more urgent protection of these areas, because unless we take greater care of these ancient ecosystems, they will continue to decline and could become extinct.